Everybody thinks the sky is falling, and everybody thinks the bull run has ended. And I'm here to tell you that is not the case. As a matter of fact, yes, you saw that right. I'm turning GIGABULLISH. Yes, I have horns on my head. Yes, I am horny. No, that is not funny. I think I'm more bullish than everybody out there, and I'm going to tell you why. I think we are in for an extended cycle. I think this is the moment to turn bullish. You see, when everybody else gets bearish, that's when Sim likes to turn bullish. So I'm going to explain all of that stuff. But I'm actually going to take you through my life cycle of crypto and show you how I fucked it up. And if I had just followed the DFTU, the don't fuck this up strategy, I would have been way further along. But, you live and you learn, and you still end up fucking it up along the way. Okay? So, first of all, this whole journey along the ride of crypto, especially if this is your first cycle or maybe your second cycle, it always feels like this roller coaster. So when everything looks like it's going to shit, that's the moment that it's turning around. And then when everything looks like it's going fantastic, that's the moment that it turns around. And then you again go through the cycle of feeling like shit. Oh my God, is this the end? Oh, is the sky falling? No, the sky isn't falling. And if you're somebody who's listened to me, if you're from my community and you've been there for a long time, you know how I'm thinking, right? These moments that I call black swans, and I mean, everybody calls them black swans. I call them Indian swans, brown swans, dark skin, South Indian swans. Those are opportunities to buy, right? But it gets a little misconstrued because people think I'm saying, oh, everything is scary and the sky is falling. The sky is not falling. No, still there, hasn't fallen. Everybody's always thought sky was falling, but let me take you through my story, okay? So I started in Bitcoin when I was a wee little lad back in 2012. Bitcoin was $5. Okay, this is right when I started. At that time, I was told that the Mayans had said that the world was going to end in 2012. Okay, the world. I don't think the world ended though. Okay, and we were super concerned about the world ending. So I found this thing called Bitcoin. Now, at the time, I was living below the poverty line. So I had basically no money. Whatever money I had, I spent on stupid shit. But my friends wanted to get into this thing because they were thinking the world's going to end. So as we were just starting to look at it, it goes from $5, $10, it goes all the way up to, what was it, $16. And we're like, whoa, that's crazy. It just tripled. And then everybody ran in and tried to buy it. And then it fell 56% in 1 week. And we were like, okay, that's it. This thing is done. It was a good run. This thing could have been the savior, but I feel like it's done. In the meantime, the only thing that was happening was the business cycle was just resetting. This yellow line is the business cycle. Okay. Raul has talked about this ad nauseum, that everything is driven by liquidity and the business cycle and liquidity are tied together. Okay. But we don't know any of this stuff back then. So I helped a few friends buy it. They panicked when this happened. I don't even remember if they sold, but they panicked hard. And, weeks and weeks go by. In reality, the business cycle starts to turn. But what we saw was this thing went from whatever, $12, $15 to fucking, I think it was $200. Yeah, $160. $260. And we were like, oh my God, what? That's crazy. And before everybody could react, it fell 82% in 1 week. And at that point, we were like, this is done. It's surely done. This was 2013, right? And people waited and waited and waited. And they were like, oh my God, it keeps going down. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to get my money back out and I'm going to leave. Even the people who bought back here at $12, they sold around this like $60 mark, right around here. They were like, Bitcoin is dead. 82% crash. Cyprus did the bank bail-ins right here. We were all expecting that the bank bail-ins were going to be the end of the world, and that was going to be when Bitcoin probably saves our lives, and it crashed, so that's shit. In reality, it was just the business cycle going up and the business cycle going through its, waves. But we didn't know any of that. But Bitcoin is dead. At this point, it's at $60. Okay? Everybody forgets about it. People start going about their life, going about their business. This thing is dead. Nobody's looking at it. And before you could blink, the thing runs up to $1,200. And that's when, first of all, that's when China announces they're going to ban Bitcoin. So everybody was like, now it's definitely dead. Governments are, banning it. But that's when I was like, okay, wait. This thing is something different. I thought it was dead twice, and it's still not dead. And it does these weird runs. I don't know why it does it, but it does these insane runs. Next time it does this, I'm definitely going to get me some. Doesn't matter how broke I am. I could afford it. And China bans it here. It bounces around for a minute. And then the only place we were buying it, Mt. Gox, collapses. And that was scary. But in reality, what had happened is the business cycle had just turned. Mt. Gox collapse was like, okay, that's it. Governments are banning it. This thing is a new form of money. Like, there's no way they're going to let this thing live. Like, especially after this scam, all this stuff happening, definitely the regulator's going to come in and kill it. And even the people who'd rode it all the way up didn't sell it here. They were like, okay, man, some sold here, some brought it back to $200, $300. And by this time, 2015, or most people were like, Bitcoin's dead. The regulators are going to kill it. Japan went after the Mt. Gox guys hard. Everything went bananas. Now, let me take you back to here. If I had bought $1,000 of Bitcoin when I started, when it was $5, today I would have approximately 20 million US dollars if I had just followed the DFTU strategy, the don't fuck this up strategy, which is buy it and don't do anything else. Like, literally don't do anything else. Just buy it and leave it. Okay? But we were like, oh my God, this thing's done. It's dead. For sure. Regulator's going to kill it. Blah, blah, blah. But I was sitting there and I was like, okay, I'm still going to watch this thing because now this thing has a track record of not dying. Okay. But still, living life. It wasn't popular back then. There was no YouTube. It wasn't like you could just sit there and watch it just like that. There was no trading view for it. None of that stuff existed, right? I think in 2017-ish, there was like Data Dash or something. I think he was the one guy that we all used to follow. But anyways, you start going about your life and blah, 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 blah. And then it starts to run up and my friends start talking about it. And I was like, pay attention, okay? So I started getting some money together. It like runs up to $900 and crashes 40%. And so many people were like, I topped out again. Like, I missed the run. And in that 40% like on the way up, people bought it on the run up. And then the 40% crash, it looks terrifying. Like, this looks terrifying. So they sell the bottom of it, right? In reality, all that was happening was the business cycle was turning. Okay. And if I sound a little nasally, it's because I got 2 teeth knocked out. So if I sound like a grandpa, I'm going to have to get dentures for 4 months before ceramic implants get put in. So pardon the grandpa-ness or don't. Grandpa does not care. Okay. So then it starts to run up and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm buying some. And I think it was like around $1,000 or something I bought a little bit. But I was like, my goal is to get out of this thing and just make money and get out. Because last time it does these run-ups and all this kind of stuff and I got to get out. I got to be smart. I got to do stuff. I got to fuck it up. Shouldn't have fucked it up. Now I know. But I get in. No, it was like around here. It's like it does these 2 crashes and then it starts to go on this run. And in classic FOMO fashion, I bought it around this like $3,000 mark. So it has a 40% crash, has another 40% crash, 38% crash. I buy it here at $3,000. It runs up to $9,000 in a heartbeat. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it just turned $3,000 into $9,000. And I hit the sell button. And I was like, I need some furniture. Okay. Lifestyle chips. I was at that stage of my life. And at $9,000 I exit. It runs up to $20,000, as we all know. CME futures launch here. It crashes. In reality, the only thing that was happening was the business cycle was turning, right? All the ICOs that had started down here started to crash, and they crashed and burned down here. All the people who bought it on the way up here, like me, they bought it at, what was it, $3,000? It was like, I bought it around this range. No, somewhere, it was after this crash. So it was like, $3,000 here somewhere. And I sold it by $9,000. Raul has the same story, two to 10,000 or whatever. ICOs crash, ICOs burn. And we're like, okay, now the regulators is definitely going to come after it. Because Bitcoin, sure, all this decentralized stuff, but there was 1,000 scams. So many people lost their money. It does this bottoming out thing. People were freaking out. Right here, though, they forked Bitcoin. That was like, whoa. Are they making a bunch of Bitcoins? But yeah, I guess if you can make a bunch of Bitcoins, it's going to die. Oh my God. Better Bitcoin's been invented. Bitcoin's dead. Again, same narrative. Again, right? But during these times, we were like, some people were like, this is the top. Because when you look at it like this, they're like, oh, that's the top. For sure. Oh, but this is definitely the top. Because remember last time in 2013, it did two tops and then it topped. So by here, people were like, that's the two tops and it's topped. And then it topped and topped and topped and topped until it topped. Now, what actually topped was the demystifying. This is where the everything code and the DFTU strategy all come together, right? So, same thing. It's crashing. It's dying. It's dead. They forked it. Oh my God. New Bitcoins. Is it going to die? Is it dead already? Do we know if it's dead? And then it doesn't die. Has another crash. Goes up. And makes another, little peak. Has this insane pump. Everybody thinks, here we go. We're going to go on the bull run again. Bull run. No, shit. Okay. It's correcting. And boom. 63% crash in 2020. The world is ending. The world is literally ending. Shut it down. COVID. Bitcoin's dead. Everything's going to die. The only thing that was happening was the business cycle was bottoming out. Then it goes sideways for some time. Everybody who is terrified during this time doesn't buy. Then MicroStrategy starts buying it. It runs up, does this bananas thing. But then we were like, oh, now it's going to do another 2017 style blah, blah, blah run and stuff. But actually the business cycle topped out. And we didn't know any of this stuff. And the business cycle kind of stays at the top. That at that point, for my clients and, even for the people, we sold around here. 58,000, I was like, look, we've run it up all the way from down here to up there. We're taking some profits. Now, you would think somebody who's buying low and selling high would beat the DFTU strategy, right? If somebody is just holding through the waves and there's me over here with my thinky brain, so smart, buying low, selling high, well, how does that person not make more money than the other one? Let me explain it to you. It's lived experience, okay? Me and a bunch of people decided this is the exit point, okay? All those people had a bunch of money. Those people decided to take that money and buy flights and, go to Colombia and ski and do a bunch of crazy shit, buy this, buy that, buy houses, buy cars, buy a bunch of stuff because you feel rich and you have cash. So you buy a bunch of stuff. So what you end up doing is you don't end up buying the thing again, right? And we're back. Okay. So what were we talking about? Yeah. So when you feel cash rich, you're going to take that money and spend it somewhere else. So you're not going to take that entire amount of money and put it back. Whereas the guy who's the DFTU strategy guy is going to take some lifestyle chips off the top, but is going to hold that initial $5 position until bajillions and fafillions of dollars. That's one of the biggest reasons why that person ends up making more money. Plus, didn't have to pay tax because it didn't sell, right? Anyways, 58K. Super smart. People called me a genius. It was a genius move for sure. For somebody who's trading, after a few cycles, you guys start to get a pulse of the market. But in reality, the only thing that had happened was the business cycle had turned, right? It had peaked. Then you probably know this story. Things go down, FTX collapse. Oh my God, we'll keep dropping. Everything's going to die. Luna crashes, Luna dies, blah, blah, blah. You know all that stuff. Then Bitcoin ETF is going to launch. Here we go. Bull run starts. Bitcoin ETF launches. Here we go. Next level. Yen panic, world's going to die. No, Bitcoin just has a nice little dip, gives you a nice little buying opportunity. I bought some up. Not Bitcoin, but a bunch of other stuff. Trump wins. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Bananas. And then it gets to 100K and it's like, did we top? Did we just top? Because everybody has trauma from 2021 and they're thinking, did we just top early? Because it just ran up early. In reality, the business cycle hasn't even kicked off yet. It hasn't even started. Right? So, do we panic now? No. But Sim, you said the world's going to crash. No, it isn't. The sky isn't going to fall. Okay? The stuff, first of all, the stuff I think is the stuff I think. Don't ever let it affect you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop. Okay? You've already heard me say all the things. I'm going to stop. Now, whatever happens, happens. In the end, it's all bullish for us. It's all just a buying opportunity. Right? So, but the person who's held the Bitcoin from $5 to $100,000, it doesn't matter if it pulls back. Is Liquidity saying it's going to have a correction? Yes. But how many corrections has it had? It goes up and comes back down. But the most important thing is the business cycle hasn't turned. All of this action we've seen has been action from just the ETFs and all this kind of stuff. In my perspective, that's why I think Bitcoin, Solana, a few of them went on a run, and the Liquidity skipped the whole center part of the risk curve and went right to the meme coins. So we haven't had a true bull run yet. This was just a prequel to the bull run. Now, in this next correction is the dip. Now, for me, I am going to buy that dip. After that, I'm going to stop being cute. I'm going to DFTU. Okay. I'm just going to hold. No more trading. No more lefty righty. No more swapping. None of that shit. Because that I realize I shouldn't have done that even in the past. While the business cycle is low, sure. I'm making a few trades here and there because I have the experience in the markets. The vast majority of people will lose all their money doing that. The vast majority of people should simply listen to Raul and just don't fuck this up. Just buy solid shit, hold on, relax, don't panic. Okay, so now looking at this, the business cycle hasn't turned. That's the first piece. So the GIGABULL case. Here's the GIGABULL case. The business cycle hasn't turned. When it turns, you will see the real run, right? So I put this on linear so you could see what it actually looks like on the price chart, but this is how you normally see it. Let me also pull up one without all my notes so you can see it being normal rather than being all crazy like that. I'm not good at accents, to be honest. I'll start with one accent and I'll flip to 16 different accents, right? But when the business cycle is down here, you do get these kind of pumps and blah, blah, blah. And you do get these kind of world-ending COVID, oh my God, everything's going to die stuff. But in reality, that's just the journey of the roller coaster. Okay, it's just the bumps in the road. Relax. When the business cycle actually turns, you get this insane run. Okay, now the key thing to remember is doing anything during this time, other than having some kind of a profit-taking strategy, is not smart. Because if you try to trade this, you try to get out here, get in here, get out here, you're going to miss the whole thing. And if you miss this, you miss the whole thing. And this time around, this is going to be bananas. Bananas. We are in the banana zone. We're about to go into the plantain zone. Some of these things are entering the bamboo zone. Some of them are entering the sugarcane zone. Pick your thing, but it's going to be bananas. Because if this entire run has been from the business cycle being this low, when it turns, we are going to see fireworks like nobody's business. Because, just think about this. This blue line is the Fed's debts. This is their balance sheet. If you think about it, this entire bump right here was the 2020 printing cycle, the world-ending printing cycle. They're going to print this much money out to like 2027. If this much liquidity caused Bitcoin to do what it did last time, yes, it's a bigger asset, but also the whole asset class benefits from this liquidity. This much liquidity is going to be something entirely unprecedented in human history. What my historical framework says that this is the pump that only happens once in a lifetime, or once in 4 generations. That this is the pump that we had in 1928 at the end of the Roaring 20s. This is the currency hyperinflationary cycle, which means it is going to make so much money for the people who don't fuck this up that it's going to melt faces. Like last time they went from, let's say, 6.85 trillion to 9 trillion. 9 trillion. The balance sheet went from 6.85 to 9 trillion. This time around, if this, correlation goes along, well, let's even look at, okay, last time the actual debts went from 465 billion to 588 billion. That's cute. This time around, they're going from 500 billion to 1 trillion. So they're doubling the amount of interest that they owe, which means they're going to print just bananas amounts of money out until 2027. So here's my bull case, GIGABULL case. I think we're in for a super cycle. We've just had the first run up of Bitcoin, a little correction to reset and build more structure. Then I think we run out, like Raul says, out until April, another little correction, build more structure. Mega run out until end of 2025, beginning of 2026. Another correction, big correction, looks like bear market. That's where the 2013 thing happens, where you think it's done, it resets, everybody forgets and thinks that, we're just going to wait for the next cycle. And then we go for another insane run into 2027, just because of how much money they have to print and how they have to print it. Just an idea, which means I think we go to a 20 trillion plus market cap by 2027. Could I be wrong? I've been very wrong a lot of times. But that's a GIGABULL case, okay? Because institutions are here. They're putting this thing on their balance sheet. This hyperinflation of the currency is the thing that they know they need to run from. Sovereign wealth funds and hedge funds and funds and fund of funds and funny funds and fundy funds. All of them know they're sitting on insane amounts of cash that's burning a hole through their pockets. And if they're printing the entire world's money supply again or some shit, what is it going to do to their balance sheet? So they're going to run to this asset class. And they're not just putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Companies have started to put XRP on their balance sheet. They'll put Solana, blah, 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 everybody on their balance sheet. ETFs are happening. So yes, the traditional financial world is coming, the retail, but also the high net worth individuals. Institutions are coming. Web3 frameworks are being deployed live. Yours truly is deploying them, which, by the way, side note, February 26th, we are going to have an event with the Indonesian president and the leaders from China and Ripple and all the legends, Polygon, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's coming together. And we are going to do some amazing announcements around how we're executing on building the Web3 framework of Indonesia. Just normal stuff. But when that kind of stuff is happening, that's opening up countries like this to, first of all, that regulatory framework and these rails being laid this way allows institutions to invest, because a lot of these funds and institutions have mandates which don't allow them to invest in Web3 assets right now. They need regulated assets. As the regulations are coming due, especially now that crypto has basically taken over the U.S. We just had a friendly coup of the U.S., okay? Silicon Valley took it over. Elon came with Doge. Ripple dumped a couple $100 million in there. What's a couple $100 million between friends? And the entire regulatory space of the U.S. is being taken over. The rest of the world was already there. The U.S. coming on board now really kicks off things. That's going to allow these big pools of money to invest in crypto directly, right? RWAs are coming. That's one of the biggest things for me. Real world assets are coming to the blockchain. And when I'm saying real world assets, I mean real world assets. Wait, did I just bleep myself? Real YouTube. Damn it. YouTube is blocking my vocal cords these days. But it's going parabolic. You can go to rwa.xyz.me, and it's going parabolic. And this we haven't even started tokenizing all the real estate and all the lands, farms we're doing with FarmSent as we speak. But then the nature, okay? I keep repeating this. Carbon tokenization is the thing that's going to be the biggest boon to crypto, because carbon tokenization is coming to this space. It's starting this time, but it's really a thing for 2027 onwards. But let's just imagine real world assets. Right now it's private credit, U.S. 9 billion of private credit, 10 billion of private credit, 4 billion of U.S. treasuries, commodities. We got a bill on there. Wait until we come with FarmSent. We don't add another few billion to that. You can see this. You have two eyes. It's going parabolic. Okay, funds are coming. Institutions are here. Regulations are going live. Sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds, fund of funds, blah blah blah. That's why you should really pay attention to this chart from one of the smartest investors with the best proven track record in all of history, Raoul Pal. Now, he's a good pal. He's a good man. He's a good lad. But seriously, like, he that strategy of DFTU is the simplest strategy, because that is the realization he came to after having all of the experience. He was like, look, even if he did end up trading the market, end up selling high and low, you end up blowing the money. Even he would blow the money. So it's like, just keep it away from me. Don't fuck this up. Just buy good shit. Buy into the dips. What does he say? Buy into the dips. It's not a black swan. It's a Christmas sale. Buy into the dips if you can. If you can't, relax. Meditate into the dips. Breathe into the dips. Okay? Take a dip in the pool. But this chart is showing how right now the way liquidity is correcting is exactly how 2017 played out. And these things are so cyclical, it's not even funny. This is the entire liquidity dump that we're looking at right now, right? It's playing all the way out until whatever. But look at this on the other side. I think we go even more bananas this time around. Wait, one sec. Somebody's here. I got a lot of visitors today. One second. We're back again. This is how life goes. Amazing people, amazing souls. Yeah, this whole, oh my God, things are going bananas, world ending, the sky's falling is just a correction. And any good asset needs to have a correction. And if RP says this is what's going on, listen to RP, okay? Just don't fuck this up. Simple. But wait, there's more. The BRICS are building their unit token, which is getting away from this hyperinflation of the US dollar. That token is going to have a basket of cryptocurrencies backing it. You can guess which ones, but that's going to create demand. Enbridge uses blockchain. That's going to create some demand, but not too much. Now, all of this is to say, black swans are bullish. World War III is bullish. Fear is just part of this whole process. It's just meant to scare you out of a good position so you fuck it up. Okay? So if you've been scared from anything that I say, remember this. I got a slightly different strategy, but I'm also about to switch to the DFTU strategy, which this next dip, I'm going to buy up everything that I can. I just wanted some extra liquidity so I could buy up that dip. Come on now. Like last time, I didn't have enough liquidity. So I'm nasally enough already. I don't need to do a whole nasally talk. But the fear is just part of this process. The reason why people don't get rich in this space is because it's not just that simple. It's not just buy it and then sell it. You don't know when to sell it is the big problem. So the way you know how to sell it is the business cycle topped. And this time around, we're all watching like hawks. And when the business cycle tops or looks like it's toppy, that's when I'm going to take a bunch of chips off the table. So this guy is not falling. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to make you feel like the sky is falling. That's why I wanted to make this video. I've also been asked by good friends to be like, hey, can you tone down the doom porn? And I was like, you know what? I respect this guy and respect these people. So I agree. Calm down on the doom porn. The sky's not falling. You know, I'm just a doom porn star. So I like, sometimes. That's a good one. You know, when I make myself laugh, I've really gone over the top. That's nice. So what am I doing? I am going to dump all of the liquidity I have into this next step. There are people that I know that are selling their houses and getting ready with liquidity. I am loading up on as much cash as I can. I've reduced my living style to whatever that is the bare minimum that I need. I'm getting every penny ready to buy up this next dip. I would not be doing that if this was the end of the bull run. This is the beginning of the bull run. Okay? We're like 3 innings into the thing. Then, once I buy this next dip, I am going to go full DFTU. Do not fuck this up. Which is sim, meditate. Don't touch it. Don't get cute with it. Don't try to sell top, buy low. No, just don't fuck this up. Follow the everything cheat code. Let liquidity do what it needs to do. If anything, I'm hyper bullish, GIGABULLIsh, TERRA-bullish, PETA-bullish, NANILA-bullish. Search that one up. NANILA-bullish. That's how bullish I am, right? Because in 2027, out until 2027, this thing could keep running. Okay, so don't touch it. Then, simple. Then I'm just going to take some lifestyle chips off the top. I would, hypothetically speaking. This is all just a hypothetical scenario, but at some point, I take a little bit off the top for some lifestyle. At some point, I would take a little bit off the top for lifestyle. What that amount is going to vary. My strategy will you'll know what my strategy is. I do use trend-based stop losses, which I'm going to make a separate video for, but even those I only set when the business cycle tops, especially in this case. It's when, all the data starts to line up that we're closer to the end that I'll send trend-based stop losses. Until then, nothing. Because in the crypto market, it's going to do what it's going to do. In the meantime, I'm going to go build FarmSan. I'm building a multi-$100 billion project. And if you're like, Sim, that's a little crazy. No, it isn't crazy. Food is worth a lot of money when you make 15% margins. A few billy is, what's a few billy between friends? Am I right? So I'm going to go build FarmSan. At the same time, I'm building Indonesian RWA Tokenization Association. That's the thing that just got created and partnered with the president of Indonesia. And we're going to deploy blockchain rails across Indonesia, one of the most resource-rich countries in the world, in a way that we onboard all of the real-world assets of Indonesia, including the $6.8 trillion of nature at today's carbon prices, onto blockchain rails and feed all of that into the system. That's where the real money is, okay? And in the meantime, that keeps me away from touching my shit and fucking with it and doing anything stupid with it. Does that make sense? Thank you. So glad. Now, action steps, simple. For somebody who's listening to this, especially if you're from the RV community, just don't fuck this up. Just don't fuck this up. And it's simple, like just hold solid assets. You might have gotten good entries on solid assets. Hold it. If it bounces around, relax, meditate, chill, go away, hug your wife, play with your kids, all the good stuff, the real abundance. Now, if you got cassiola on the side, buy the dip. Now, that's what I'm doing. Hypothetical. Buying the dip. That's a great opportunity. That's part of the DFTU strategy. Then, no leverage, no staking, no giving it to a platform, no getting cute with it, no trying to when the business cycle is low, you can make some switches. Like, a lot of the legends have switched out of Solana to Sui, Roll did that as well. In this time, we get a little cute, we kind of prep for the bull run. We multiply our assets a little bit here and there. That's all right. But when that real bull run starts, none of that. No getting cute. No, thank you. You can keep your 4% yield. I'm just going to self-custody this whole thing. Now, the key thing is don't panic. When it goes up, don't get excited. You ain't made any money. It's just a number on a screen. When it goes down, don't panic because you did not lose money in that crash. It's not a crash. It looks like a crash. It looks like the world's ending. It's just a dip. Either buy it or don't even look at the portfolio. That's one of the best things that I recommend to my people. I'm like, on the downside, don't look at the portfolio. And do not attach your self-worth to that number on the screen. Because when it goes up, it's called a wealth effect. You don't have any wealth, but you might start spending more money like you're rich. And then you go, look, I have a bajillion dollars in a wallet somewhere. And then it drops 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, depending on how shitty the coin is that you're holding. And you go, oh my God, I just lost 80% of a bajillion fulfillion dollars. And in here, this thing that beats, like, turns, your stomach turns, your heart gets sad, you start yelling at your kids and wife, like, fuck this, I used to be so rich, now I don't have the money. No, you never had the money. And you never lost the money. It's just a wealth effect. It never existed. It's fugazi. And then what happens? You know, people panic and sell. People like me go in and buy the dip because we meditating, we chilling, we in nature, you know, relaxing. And then it runs up another bajillion fulfillion percent. And if to meditate through that, to not panic through that is the hardest part of it. Don't worry. We've paid thousands of dollars to guys who other people pay hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to do market research, to get the kind of data that allows us to know when we need to do something with this thing. Right now, the only thing to do is buy the dip if you can. Otherwise, chill out, meditate, relax. And I think one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable now in this market is because I learned macro. That was huge. I think 2015 is when I really started to kick off. 2017 is when it really started to show up for me. Thankfully, I found Raul. And I started to learn macro. And in that way of thinking, now I'm not sitting here watching this little puddle of liquidity called, and now it's a pond of liquidity called crypto. It's just like $3 trillion. Cute. That's cute. In the $1.6 quadrillion ocean of liquidity, this little 3 trillion barely even shows up on the mark. With this little puddle on the beach and its liquidity, people are just watching it and going, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to do this and that. But you can turn around and watch the debt markets, which is a real pool of liquidity. And then the stock markets are like a derivative of the debt markets, and the tech stocks are like a derivative of the stock market, and crypto is like a derivative of tech stocks. So if you just watch the ocean, you can see what's happening. And this is the ocean. If you watch the debt, that's a tsunami. This is a tsunami. This is a tsunami we never see before. Look at the data. This is wave. Okay, this look like a tsunami. So bad, the world ending. No, we die, sky falling. Is this? The numbers are just not going to make sense. This is the bananaest banana zone that will ever happen, I think, in our lifetime that we can catch. So, watching that ocean, knowing this is coming, knowing we're just going through this little correction where, you know, liquidity is bouncing around, doing its cute thing, and we're all watching these little bumps, and we're like, oh my God, is it going up? Is it going down? This is not global liquidity, by the way. This is the Fed's, the TGA account, the US's balance sheet. But the idea is we're watching these little bumps when in actuality, all you got to do is catch one of these. And the way you catch it is just don't fuck it up. So in closing, I would like to say, yes, I'm turning GIGABULLIsh, and my apologies for terrifying the shit out of you. It's just a buying opportunity that's coming up. But in reality, actually, patience pays. Just the patient ones who relax, who zen the fuck out in this process, it pays. No matter how terrifying it looks going forward, it's just a thunderstorm. And a thunderstorm is scary when it's happening, but after the rain falls, the forest grows like crazy. That's actually when the craziest growth happens. In the meantime, focus on the more important things. There's so much love in life. There's so much love for life, and love for wife, and love for strife for some of us. But just enjoy the real abundance of the world. because if we just don't fuck this up on the other side, it won't make sense. This banana zone won't make sense. So I'll shut up, stop there. In general, I think this is the time to become super bullish, because when everybody else gets bearish, that's when you get super bullish. And then when everybody else gets super bullish, you'll hear me get bearish again. So for now, hopefully this has been powerful. If it has, don't subscribe. Just send it to somebody who you think will benefit, or don't. Other than that, love you always. I am fucking pumped for this whole thing. Can't wait to have my teeth back. And I'll see you next time.